That's I mean, if she really like that, you have to work on it. Because you associate a lot of things to that, right? I mean, at least I would associate it.
Literally summer dress with without sleeves up to here. High heels, they're like they're open. They're not sandals, but like when you
Okay, that's too much.
so your feet is very cold. Like, this is cold. Not even the thigh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like me too. Like I'm meeting tomorrow, right? I was like,
with one ear, my son's alive.
I was like, so yeah, we said, well, where are we meeting again? Because I was like, maybe she's Saturday, and I'm like, Friday, right? I was like, what is Friday? Yeah, we meet. I don't know. Here. When you were talking with me. No, I don't know.
Oh my God!
It was a speech conversation. Well, I mean, I know that I think at some point we'll meet her. That's the point. But I don't think we'll meet her for dinner.
But do we have to tell her then if she's at 5 and we're meeting?
I don't know. Who knows?
Should we ask Teresa?
Yes. Yeah, like me.
Hi, could you sign up in the sign up?
Yes.
Thank you. So she's had one baby and now I'm okay.
Yeah, you're gonna go first.
No, I just it's very different from what we thought. She just told me you don't have to. I mean, she just had the session. She told me so. I don't want to talk about science because if you want to science, we're not talking about anything about science. So I'm not talking about science. I think CCTV will should come. Why? Because they're by the way.
Yeah. But I asked Anik, and Anik says that if people writes them, and they're gonna be there for the PhD day, that they can get the ECTS.
People are like fucking ridiculous.
Is he here?
Joke. No, this is the morning session.
Yeah, but is
Yeah,
he
this is
in the
11.
lab?
So I guess I'm also
Jeg skriver faktisk mest på kontoret. Bøffer på øret. Ja, men man kan sige, ja, så
How many do we need? All? We should be 25. We're not 25, are we?
I think we are missing some people, but
Should we wait 2-3 minutes to start?
You can start, I think,
I think
because
you should just start.
yeah, 3 of them are not coming, so
We just start.
we're missing 7.
I have a dream. I have a dream that one day, on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will join together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day my 4 little kids will not be condemned by the color of the skin, but judged by the content of the character. I have a dream. So I say to them tonight, we don't have a black America and a white America. We have a United States of America. And I say to them tonight, we do not have an Italian America and a Chinese America. We have a United States of America. And I say to them tonight, we don't have a conservative America and a liberal America. We have a United States of America. And I ask them tonight, can we unite? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. How many in here has been sitting to a lecture or a teaching and within the first 15 seconds been thinking, oh my God, this is gonna be a long one. This is gonna be boring. How many have tried the opposite and normally dead sick, boring biochemistry, and within, because a new teacher comes within 15 seconds, been thinking, oh my God, this is good. This is different. I had the same problem when I started here. Welcome to a very grateful discipline, public speaking, presentation, scientific presentation. Because, grateful, because this is not rocket science. You can all learn it. You just need to have 5 tools. My tools. And that's only 5,650. Oh, just kidding. By the use of my tools, you are all can very fast become great public speakers. That means you can very fast become a great public speaker. And you can very fast. And you, and you, and you, and you. And that's what I have for you today. The Speaking House Association technique for you to remember I have to present my PhD in 10 minutes. I have to present my research in 15 minutes. What do? I draw the speaking house of aspirants. That's the only thing that's mine. All what I teach today and what Asta teaches, Aristoteles and Cicero, is 2,000 years old. And that's the unique thing with this academic field. That is so old and it still works. We're going to have different plans because it's going to be experimental learning, it's going to be memorization technique, and it's going to be presentation technique. How many in here have been listening to a presentation that involves experimental learning? How many? Yes? Good. How was it?
I've been to more than one.
Been to more than one?
It's been good and it's been bad.
It's good and it's bad. Okay. I love it. When your body moves, your memory grows. When you move your body, you remember so much more. Okay? You want to play? You're going to stand up a lot here. You're going to do a lot of exercise. Okay, join me. Come. Stand up, please. Thank you. And this is for public speaking. Everything I do, everything I preach, I do myself. I hope so. So, information combined with emotion becomes a long-term memory. Always think about that when you speak and you present something. Information, do you like me? Information combined with emotion, this is kindergarten, becomes a long-term memory. I know this kind of challenge, but it works. It works, okay? So now you remember that. Welcome to the speaking house. But before we start, adrenaline and cortisol. I want to talk about that. Body-mind connection. You can control your brain with the movement of your body. All right? How many becomes nervous when they have to speak? How many have tried to memorize this talk and at home in front of the mirror and your girlfriend, your boy, your dog, your palm tree, and when you got to get up here, you got to start on shaking. Adrenaline and cortisol. Now we can spit test. The spit test science is very, swab. We have adrenaline, cortisol, dopamine. We can spit test everything. So now you roll down. How many have seen Amy Cuddy's TED Talk, the power pose? Yeah, it's proven. Yeah, she did a PhD on it. This is a power pose. Do like me, come. Now your adrenaline and your cortisol goes down. 2 minutes with this, I always do when I have to present something. I always stand up and standing in the restroom. 2 minutes. I did another thing. I didn't do it so loud, but we're going to do it loud here. Standing 2 minutes like this, your adrenaline and cortisol is going to rush down. So when you get on stage, you are not, you can talk and relax much better. Do that when you have to present. Do your power pose. And if you can't do it with a screen, on big screen, that you're good, that you're awesome, that you're going to own that stage. It helps. It all helps. A red screen, think about you're good talkers, man, you're good speakers. You are awesome. Let me hear it. When you think, you scream loud. 1, 2, 3. Ah! That's it. Your adrenaline is way low now. Be seated. Thank you. You will never forget this. See the laugh over there? I love it. It works. Okay, let me introduce the speaking house. What was your name? Vanya. You are the boss to Jonas. Vanya, you are leading a department on cancer research. And Jonas has just turned in his PhD in cancer research. And you love it. So you are asking Jonas to do a presentation, to present it 20 minutes, because it has major news within cancer research. Okay? Now you know already that she loves your PhD. Okay, so that's stepping up one. What does he have to do now? He has 20 minutes. You have 1 month. No, 1 month to do it. When you put your application, you have not signed. He knows his subject. He has 1 month. What does Jonas have to do? What's the first thing he has to do? 20 minutes, Friday meeting, cafeteria. You all meet up to listen to Jonas. What does he have to do? Come on! Is it late? Prepare. Yes, one more.
Take 2 weeks off.
Take 2 weeks off. I would do that too. Yeah. What more?
Practice.
Practice. But before practice, sorry. Before practice. What does he have to do there? Before practice?
Write down what he wants to say.
Yes. And after you're writing down, how do we practice? How does he have to practice it?
By talking.
By talking into what? What's the phone? This is the phone. How should you be talking? The memo, record yourself. Why? This is not a phone. And why should you record yourself? How do you guys memorize?
I make an outline and then I usually get nervous and then I talk about from just not the from the heart.
So from the heart. That could, if somebody can do that. A lot of people can do it. Some can, but I wouldn't be able to, but it's okay. I've heard good speakers do that, yeah. How can we make sure that we have a solid foundation of the speaking house, that the house is standing on a rock and we don't build our speaking house in sand? How do we build that solid foundation of the speaking house? Huh? What happens to you when you know what to say? What happens to your adrenaline? What happens to your cortisol? What happens to your talk when you know what to say?
You will relax.
Yes. Pauses. 2 major connections. Your finest task as a speaker is not perfection, it's connection. You want to all ways you can connect with your audience or they're going to fall asleep. You connect with the eyes, 1 sentence length, with the eyes looking at 1 sentence, if you can, if there's 200 you can. Here, I'll be able to look at you 1 sentence length. And pauses. Connect. Pauses of sound. That makes your brain alert. 2 ways. And you can only do that when you have memorized your speech. Memo. Now, I always meet that. No, you can't do. No, you can't do. No. You have been doing a PhD, you have been memorizing, you have taken exams, oral exams, 1 meter books. You have memorized your talk often in exams, but you can't memorize 10 minutes. Presentations, yes, you can. Now, you memorize it by reading, that's one way. Listening and running or biking, move your body while you hear yourself. You have talked in on the phone, the 20 minutes, and you just do the same route, the same biking route. Because when you look at the same things and hear the same sentence within your speak, you can take the bike. This is called the low-chi method, or LOCI. Low-chi method, the Cicero. You can take your bike after a few rounds, and then you can memorize your whole talk by looking at the same tree, house, whatever. If you do the same route on the bike, you just need 10, 15 times, and then you have memorized your talk. Do it in your home. Try it out with groceries. What's the first thing you lock in your door? You come in your home. What's the first thing you do? You open the door, and what's the first point you look at? Yes. So what do you need to buy? Milk? Yeah. So you take, now you never need to write down a grocery list. You take the milk and hang it in your brain. See it in front of you. The milk is hanging on where you hang your coat. 2 gallons of milk. What more do you need to buy? What? Oatmeal. That's the second point is where you put your shoes. So you just imagine yourself the old milk, what brand is it? Solbrød. The kids love solbrød. You go to solbrød. You put the solbrød where your shoes are, huh? With the sun. See it in front of you. What's the next thing you have to buy? Grocery? Apples. Yes, you get the point now. You go into the living room, the next point you see the apples. That's called the low-chi method, memory method. Cicero. Excellent. He went around in his courtyard. Okay, good. We have to build the speaking house. Let's start. I have the pleasure of coaching the researchers that go to Boston Welfare Trust Foundation, the Bill Gates Foundation, and get cancer money for the cancer research. Now, they phoned me up and they said, come and help us. Yeah, how are you at presenting? And this is not, because then you guys are not taught this. I didn't know it either when I went to this same place here, doing my studies, how you present your science. But what they started, they let me see a video, they sent me a video from Boston where they had to present their science. And if this is a wall, and this is the stage, and the audience here, they would stand up against the wall and read loud from the manuscript on a phone, or look at the PowerPoint. There was no connection with the audience, and they got no money. Foundation. Okay? So you want to start with hooking the audience. You want to start with a question. That's an example, just an example. How many in here has a relative that is diabetic? Family member, relative? Yes, 2, 3, huh? 2. Okay. I do research in diabetic because my mom is diabetic, I'm diabetic, and my granddad was. It's a plague within the family. That's why I do research in diabetic. So I start with a question, I hold my hand, and I get personal. This is personal. Diabetes is personal for me. Insulin is personal. I shoot it myself every day. Personal. When do I get in shock? When I don't? How to control my insulin? It's personal. And I open up. Emotion. Information combined with emotion becomes a long-term memory. We'll talk about that later because we're going to get into storytelling. There's a huge research project just finished up by Kendall Haven. You know him? Scientist, neuroscientist, together with 48 other scientists in the States. Giant, the first product ever, research product in storytelling and the brain. Big news. I'll get to that later. The door is a hook, the start is the door is a hook. You're going to start with hooking the audience. You can also start with a quotation, biochemistry, the skin. Did you know that there's more living creatures on your body? That there's living creatures on the planet Earth? That could be a start. People start scratching themselves. Okay, so for example, a question, when we do that, you're going to do this exercises later, you're going to use the speaking house. You can start with a question, but you can also start with a personal story, you can also start with a quotation. Don't use the question stop, everybody of you know. So you can start with a personal story, you start with a question, personal story, or a quotation, or something else. Just be different. Don't be like everybody else at the conference. My name is Asbjørn, and I'm cancer diabetic, and I am it's in the program that my name is Asbjørn. It's in the program what I research in. Don't repeat that. You've just been introduced. So they heard it 2 times. They've just been reading it, and they're just been by the Toastmaster, by the conferencier. He said your name. You don't want to repeat that. You just want to jump right in. That's called parachute the audience within the story. Parachute them in. All right? Now, eye contact. The Windows is to associate you, remember the eye contact. And that's the Obama turn. I always use Obama because he's excellent, wonderful speaker. We do not want to interfere war with the Syrian people. We want to interfere war with President Assad because we have living proof that he has poisoned his own population. Boom. 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And the camera is always in the middle in Obama. All his press conferences, he's on YouTube, and he does it every time. It's smooth. He's Martin Luther King, Obama, and JFK, they beat the shit out of anything comes to speaking. Storytelling. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will join together at the table of brotherhood. What do you see in front of you? There's everything there. There's a short storytelling and there's a hope. That's the best thing you can give people. And there is a development. I have a dream that one day my 4 little kids will not be condemned by the color of the skin, but by the content of their character. A hope again. We can unite. Yes, we can. A hope in Obama. There's a hope. When you do your talents about your cancer, about your diabetes, give the audience hope. Okay, we're going to talk about that later. The cliffhanger is the roof. What was the cliffhanger? A question you put, but wait with the answer. There's 3 different questions you can do when you do your talk, and that's connection. Your finest job as a speaker is not perfection, it's connection. Okay? So you put a question where you expect an answer, that you mark that with your hand. Always raise your hand. You put a question that you answer yourself. I have how many? You just go on, but as long as you put a question, its attention span is very low because of the digital. Every time, so when you do a talk, okay, the question, what does that do to the attention span? When you do a talk, okay, this is your talk. Now you start up here, this is the attention span, this is the time, and if you don't put questions, this is 15 minutes, the attention is going to go down like this. But if you put a question, whoop, it's going to raise, but you're going to hide it again. Every time you put a question, the attention span is going to look like this. Because you're going to knock their brain. So do that. Put those questions, there's 3 different questions. The clock, that's the last thing of the speaking house. That's the watch, that's the clock. Draw this house now, so you remember it. The clock is here for you to realize that when you get on stage, your adrenaline and your cortisol is going to be 3 times higher than it is in the audience. Because it's your Stone Age brain, the reptile brain that goes into function. 100,000 years ago, when you all looked at me, that means you're going to hunt me down, eat me something, a threat. And when you just talk to your adrenaline and your cortisol, just talk to it and say, oh, you're coming now, you can feel it. Oh, take it out and stand here. It sounds crazy, but it works. There you are, welcome, but you're not going to go inside. You're not going to ruin my talk. I'm going to control you. Mind. Use your mind and talk to that cortisol and adrenaline. That helps. My time is up. I would like to introduce a scientist, PhD, Asger, that went from being a scientist into story and presentation. Welcome.
Hi, good to see you. We looked at your answers. You answered some of you at least. And I could see also when you raised your hand that a lot of you have challenges with fear and nervousness, anxiety, and know that this is completely normal. There was one guy that wrote, I love it, I don't have a problem. Please raise your hand if that's you. Okay, maybe that was a joke. I don't know, but I find everybody has this challenge getting up on stage. So just accept this is normal. And even if you've been doing it for a really long time, you still get nervous. But in this talk, I'm going to give you some tools so you can handle it, get more confidence, and then really power through when you have your talk, because it's very important. You know the nervous speakers, oh, I'm sorry, bang, it doesn't work, right? You gotta have power, energy, but I want to make you charismatic as well on stage, so you're natural. All right, for that reason, I have developed my own system called the Fear-Free Speaker System. It has two parts, fear and speaker. I'm gonna give you the first part, the short version. Fear is an acronym, meaning that the 4 letters in fear stand for something. So you get 4 applicable tools to handle your fear, and you can use them when you come up here and when you have your conference, maybe also in everyday life. So let me write that up. What I'm gonna give you. I'll just put it here. Then we have the beautiful speaking arms and the fear together. So this first point, F, is incredibly important, because if you don't get this, almost everything else doesn't matter. People will feel uneasy, they will be a bit nervous, they will not really connect with you. However, if you get this, you can say almost anything. You know, you'll be believable, you can have not a great content, but still they will listen. So what is this F? It stands for feeling, meaning you feel great, you feel fabulous, you feel fantastic before you come up on stage. So you want to create a great feeling within you, so you can relax, focus on the content, focus on the audience, right? So how do you do it when those stupid nerves come? This morning, I was ready to give my talk, 4:30. Oh boy, Aska, I'm ready. Just chill out, man. There's still time, right? So they come, and they will always come. So how do we handle it? There are 2 ways. Actually, there are 3 ways. I'm going to give you 2, because these are tools you can use today. The third one is very powerful, but it takes more time to incorporate. So that's why I give you the 2. Can we agree that your body, your physiology affects how you feel? What about your focus, what you focus on? Also important. And they're very easy to manipulate, especially your physiology. So I want to do a little exercise with you. Are you ready to play? Good. So please stand up. Find a partner. Okay, good. And you just say hi to the person. Hi. Oh, you're alone. Okay. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, so please try to remember, how was that hi? We're going to use it in a little bit. Alright? So with me, if you're nervous, like most people, you can do a breathing exercise. It hits, you're experts within this, I know. You connect with your parasympathetic nervous system, and you become relaxed. Connect with the rest and digest. When do we rest and digest? When we're relaxed. Not when we're stressed, right? So if you breathe, you relax. How do you breathe if you're nervous, anxious? How do you breathe? It's up here. How's the pace?
Fast.
Very fast. How do you breathe if you're relaxed, confident? Where does it come from? Stomach. Yes, that's what I want you to do. All of you. So the technique is you breathe in, meaning the stomach goes out like a balloon on 1, 2, and then you hold your breath 1, 2 as well, and then you breathe out 3, 4 on 4 seconds. Sorry. So you count up to 8, first 2 seconds, breathe in, hold it 2 seconds, and then breathe out in 4. Is that clear for everybody?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's do 4 rounds of those and see how you feel afterwards. All right? So please do that. I love this exercise. It's very useful for me. So people think I do it for you. No. Good deep breath. Get that diaphragm down. Connect. You can close your eyes if you want to. That's completely okay. Shoulders are relaxed. If you're not sure your belly's moving, you just put your hands on it. Ensure that it's the belly, not the chest. Please raise your hands if you are kind of through, so I can know. People are getting. How was that? Did you feel more relaxed? How did you feel?
Not
Okay.
that now I would be so
Okay.
nervous.
So now you're not nervous, but maybe.
Before I also was not
Okay.
so
No, because you knew you didn't have to speak. But you.
tired.
Okay. But maybe when you come up, you can get nervous. But if there are thousands of people listening to you, maybe you get the nerves. And this technique is very powerful because you can use it before you get up on stage, but also on the stage. You use a question. Ask what I'm talking. Ask a question. Let me think. And you breathe. And then relax. You relax. It's all good. So you incorporate all that. That's the first thing. The next thing is your focus. And here we can talk about internal focus and external focus. So how you look at people. We have two kinds of visions. The foveal, where you focus very specific thing, your beautiful nose or whatever. And but it tends to be very stressful if you focus too much on one thing. That's called foveal vision. What you want to have is peripheral vision, meaning you're kind of taking in the whole room, but you still connect with the person. You still have eye contact. It's like when you're driving a car. If you are an experienced driver and you relax in the car, if you're new, you probably tend to be in foveal vision, focus on everything. So you relax, you look out the windscreen, and what you see? The road. You focus on the road. That's the people's eyes. But you still know what's going on in the room. Does that make sense? Good, so you can use that. People tend to go into foveal vision when they're stressed. It has advantages from time to time, but not when you do public speaking. Please sit down. So, that's the first point. Create a great feeling within yourself, because it will help you, but also your speaker, or the audience. Feeling. The next part is very important. If you learn only one thing from me today, this should be it. Very, very important. It's quite hard to learn. I spent a long time learning it. I'm still learning it. But if you get this right, you can do almost everything wrong. And your audience will still be like, hey, he's a natural speaker. He's fantastic. I'm having a great time listening to this guy. So what is it? Ego, meaning that you be yourself. It's hard to be yourself on stage. I remember the first time I had to give a speech in a Toastmasters club. It's called Speaking Club. I prepared from home. I knew what I was going to say. I had a great quote, right? I knew the tricks. I've been there a couple times. And I got nervous. So I started saying something else. Oh, can you hear me? My name is Asger. It was really boring. I got hit by nerves, right? So when you want to hear yourself, you can share some first times you did something. You can also share your faults. For instance, I'm always nervous for my zipper that is going up. I'll check it 20 times. Never happened to me, it didn't. So you share some personal things about you. Some fuck-ups as well. I fucked up big time. You tell me if I'm too slow. Alright? Good. So I made a really big fuck-up when I made my bachelor project at D2, the engineering college. We were 3 guys making it together. And what happened was we started to get some data in. We were making a project about oil and viscosity, how to keep it more or less constant within a wide temperature range. So we get all the data in and it's all making sense with the theory, but there's one graph that doesn't make sense at all. So we discuss it, we use a lot of hours on that, and we talk with our supervisor, our co-supervisor, and they also don't understand it. And well, we hand in our project without understanding what's going on. And so the night before we have to present it, I couldn't find the graph. So I just thought, hey, I'll go back in the Excel sheet. I'll remake it. And then I remade the graph. And you know what happened? We had plotted the wrong thing. And we had not considered to go back and look at that graph. We just took it for granted. I mean, that was a really big fuck up, right? But if you do that, the audience will love you. Do share some mistakes. I know a lot of people are not comfortable doing this. This is in the scientific world, so like very much we are the best, we did this, everything's right. People don't share their mistakes, faults. If you do, you can brag more. Your good results will become even greater. So if you want to do that, that's a good thing. You show confidence as well doing it. So that's the first thing. Share the 3 F's. The next thing I want to give you with this is we often tend to get this self-talk. Am I doing well? Do they like me? Is there somebody on the phone? Oh boy, oh, it's not working for me. You You know the talk? Yeah, you know the talk, right? So what do? Instead of thinking about the thought that you have in your head, you refocus on your audience. You find somebody, keep eye contact with them. Eye contact. Eye contact. Boom. Refocus. Why do I say this? Because you cannot not think about something. You cannot think not about something. If I say